How's it going, guys? This is a replay that of a game that I played today. It's at Diamond 2 MMR in Korea, so it's pretty roughly high MMR. The runes I'm running Predator, and I'm running Precision in my secondary. I'll put a screenshot on the screen of the specific runes that I'm running. But the reason I'm showcasing this game is because I like to stress to people how easy it is to predict the early game of certain champions, and all you can do is just use a ward early, and you can get so much information out of a game that it's pretty ridiculous. So you can see this game here, I actually disconnected at the start because of a little crash. So I was pretty late, but the most important thing that I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get a ward out in the bottom scuttle area. So you'll see I put the Pora in the bush and the scuttle there. So what that basically does is, if I can get my epic pen up, I love this program, by the way, is Camille has a habit of starting at both sides of the jungle. So she can start blue, she can start red. It doesn't matter which one, she's at an advantage either way. But what she'll obviously do is she'll go for level 2 gank on the lanes. If she starts red, it usually goes down towards the middle or the top lane. Or if she starts the blue, she'll go straight to mid and then revert back to scuttle. But the big point of that is she will always revert back to scuttle. No matter what she does, she's going to get a scuttle. Roughly about the time it spawns, she will be there. So that means if you have a ward over here, then by 2 minutes, which is the time that the scuttle spawns, she will be in this area, so you have information of where she is. So this game here, I was banking on her starting blue buff. And I was banking on her going either blue mid scuttle or blue gromp scuttle. If she does blue gromp, she gets to scuttle at about 203-ish. So that's a really good indicator, because that lets me punish her by taking the top side and focusing on the top half. So we'll have a look at how the game plays out a little bit. This is a really good game. I'm really happy with how this game went, because there was so much control that happened in the early game. So it's a pretty standard clear. We go straight for red. We just make sure you last hit it with the Q, and we're going to go the Raptors. So this is about the time that you want to pay attention to the map, because if Camille goes goes buff straight to a gank, you'll see her about now. The first indicator there is you notice that the bot lane's late. Now, as I was playing this, I actually looked over and saw that Civil was missing mana, so I kind of banked my money on her starting blue buff. So it all comes down to the indicators that you can use to determine where their jungler is. So I'm going to keep clearing this, and I'm going to go for the top scuttle. So hopefully, we lost the ghoul, but that's okay. It's not too bad. So midway through our walk, you see she pops up on the map, right? Okay, so from that alone, we know exactly her clear. We know she went 1 into 2 into 3. So she did this, okay? Which means that all of these camps are up. Now we know that without even looking at those camps, we know it exactly. So this gives us a really good way of punishing her. So as you'll see, what ends up happening was I run straight to her red buff. So you skip the scuttle, just go straight for the red buff. Because based on where she is, she can't get to me in time. And we get ourselves a free red. So the only problem that would ever come up with that is if this is warded, they would know exactly where I am, and they could collapse on me from both top and mid. And they have priority as well, which is not terrific, but my TF is pushing a lot more than their Cass is. So I banked on my TF being able to help me out if something went wrong. So we'll leave the Poro in the bush just to see if she follows down, and we'll go to take the scuttle, and you'll see she shows up, okay? So that's me pinging for help. I'm spam pinging. Now, luckily for me, this TF is pushing so hard that he has control over the river. So we win this trade purely because I have priority. And the only reason I went in is because I have priority. So you see he fends off the Camille while I get the scuttle. Now, I probably could have smited and helped him out earlier, but I didn't really want to. That gives me level 3 because it's 1, 2, 3, 4 camps. 4 camps for level 3. And I go to help him, and what do you know? The top lane's here. And we get ourselves a free kill. So that was a really good play. And that literally all stemmed from the fact that I knew that she started the bottom half of the jungle. So the Camille's forced to recall, and she's forced to do what she wants. I end up going wolves first because I wanted the ghouls before I go to the blue buff. So even though I have to wait a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty standard from here. We're gonna just push, get these get the graves, get the camps, and we're gonna recall. So with this gold, we got about what 1,000. So it'll be skirmishes plus boots. Now, if I was smart, what I would have done there is I would have known that Camille had recall, and she had no red. Right, this is gone. This camp is gone. Okay, so it's obvious that you can use by just your mind, right? That Camille does not clear that camp well, and she does not clear that camp well. Now, she didn't have enough to get her jungle item, so there's a good chance she's going to run straight to bot. Your first camp will respawn at about 4:30-ish, right? Yorick, on the other hand, his raptors, if you go red into raptors, spawn at 4:37. So that's a time that you need to get used to knowing, because if you can go from here, recall Krugs, these will spawn immediately after your Krugs, okay? So what I should have done is ping my bot lane back, because it was the only place she would have gone, and she gets a free kill out of it. That's not good. Champions like Camille, you don't want to give that free kill too early. But anyway, we're just going to go straight for the Krugs. Notice that the Scuttle has spawned mid, and I actually ping this. If you see this little indicator right here, this is me pinging that that she's coming. Right there, you see, that's me. This is a warning ping. Because I knew she was going to come mid. This camp, I didn't know when these were spawning, but I knew that they weren't going to be up very soon. Or they were soon, but not overly soon. So she was probably going to run to mid in the first place. Luckily, he doesn't get a kill, which is perfect. And I just get some farm time. So you can already see, looking at the CS, I'm really far ahead of this Camille. I am miles ahead. She's so far behind. So most important thing here is we're going to get this Scuttle. Now, you see this Scuttle, how it's in 20 seconds? This yellow, it means it's in 20 seconds, okay? So this lines up perfect for me to go here, straight down the river, straight to the Scuttle, okay? Now, notice my Leona is also in the area too. So, worst comes to worst, it becomes a 2v2, and my Leona will help me get kills. My top lane got soloed while getting a kill, but we also get the Scuttle here. If I was better, I would have landed that. So, one of the other reasons I want to showcase this game is because this Camille, she gets behind and she stays behind. And it's purely me making her stay behind. Now, notice I have Predator with Predator boots. This guy has no mana. My teammate is pinging that he has no flash. He does have flash. I don't know what he was thinking. But, yeah, he pings me to come gank. I'm going to sneeze in a second. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I wait for an opportunity. I know he has his cards available. I pop my Predator, and we go straight in, get a free kill. Now, I didn't know where Camille was, but I assumed she was in the area. So I went over here to try see if the camp was there, but it wasn't there, unfortunately. Camille shows herself mid, okay? So Camille showing herself mid, what it does is it loses the ability to surprise your opponent. So I've got vision of this area. I know she's not there. The second she shows mid, she loses that whole, oh, she might be here, she might be here, she might be there, she might be in the bot bush. Now that she's giving away her location to someone that's teleporting into the lane, I can then make moves knowing that. So this blue is free. This blue is free because I know she's covering mid. I know her level. I know how far behind she is. I can see her updated CS and her updated items. I know that from these items, I'm stronger than her. So I know that I can take her on. So the best thing for me to do right now is to get level 6. So you'll see that's exactly what I do. Straight for this. And straight to her blue buff. Now, I see her, unfortunately. And I see that my bot lane doesn't have priority. So I don't stay around. If I was going to misplay this, I would have stayed, popped my ult. I probably could have got the blue, killed her, but I would have died and given it to someone else. And giving away the blue in this game would have been absolutely disastrous. So you see, I just basically run. But the second Cass comes to me, I know that I've got a lot of information on this, right? Because I know Camille's up here. She's very far away. The bot lane hasn't rotated yet. The other big one is I know that Cass used flash the last time I fought. That means if she uses her R into me like this, she can't get out of my W. So the best thing I can do is watch how she plays. So we'll put it on 0.25 times speed. And you'll see what I use as my indicator here. I gauge how she's playing it because I don't want to use the W too early because I want to make sure I trap her in it. Him. See how he ults to me? Then that's my indicator. Go straight out. And you can see Camille's come down, but it's too late. He's pretty dead. He dies, okay? Now, he died because we knew that he didn't have flash and that he used his ult cooldown, okay? Now, Camille's in the area. We saw her level as well. So we put 2 and 2 together and we realized that she was very vulnerable. So we waited here for a bit. And I wanted to get ghouls first. But I wanted to refresh my ghouls. This wasn't here. So I knew she was doing her blue still. So you can see I run into her. I'm level 6. She's level 5. We get a really sweet outplay right there. But unfortunately, we get Karth assaulted. So that sucks. But we know we killed her. Buffs went to top, unfortunately. But can't do anything about that. So once you recall from base, one thing I do want to stress to people as well, if you're interested in playing Yorick jungle, is after you die, your next move is almost critical. So this is where I've died and just respawned. Now, you got to put yourself in a position where, as Yorick, you need ghouls. Now, where do you get ghouls? You can get ghouls from this camp, and this camp. Okay? Now, Krugs give by far the most experience. This camp here is way too valuable this season. People seriously underestimate the importance of the Krug camp. And most people will leave it. Like you see this Camille, I don't actually think she's taken this Krug camp yet. And you can see that by her level, compared to her team, and compared to me, she's very far behind. And one of the biggest reasons is she's not taking her multi-camps. They give far too much experience. So Yorick has one of the biggest advantages of being able to get ghouls off this camp. So you want to generally run straight to the Krug camp, and you want to generally path up. Now, the only thing that would be wrong about that is that the scuttle is available soon. Now, if Camille gets that scuttle, think of it as her getting an extra camp of yours. Think of it as her counter juggling you. Because this is your camp just as much as it is her camp. But if she takes this, you lose the ability to run up here freely, run down here freely, and you also lose the ability to get an extra camp, okay? But even so, we're going to buy our Cinderhulk first, and we're going to run straight to the Krug camp. I've been running Cinderhulk lately instead of Warrior, because in low elo, you can run Warrior if you want, but in high elo, having damage is nothing compared to having the ability to deal damage. If you're very tanky, you won't die. And Yorick doesn't need a lot of damage, at least not yet, since the nerfs haven't come in yet. So Cinderhulk is more than enough. So we're going to rotate up. I'd say the only real misplay I did this game was that it is a Mountain Dragon. And this Mountain Dragon means that I have the opportunity of 20-minute Baron when it spawns. And I also have the ability to push lanes extremely quickly. But judging by the way the game actually went out, I think it played really well. So I actually give the blue over to TF. I've started to give the blue over to my mid laners, even though I like the extra CDR, just purely because they play better with it. I think that helps their mental a lot. But we'll go back a bit. Now, I want to showcase 3 indicators here, okay? So I wanted to rotate to that top scuttle, okay? Everyone, I said that before. But what happens is TF goes up and the scuttle's gone, okay? Now, what that basically tells me is that means that Camille is in this top half of the map. She's not down here, she's up the top, okay? So that means that, judging by the look of this top lane, you know how you can usually tell when there's something going to happen? You look in the top lane and you can see your champion is fighting their champion. And you go, surely someone's going to pop by. I was expecting the Camille to be in this top half. So I was rotating my way up to go to the top half. She actually shows herself, but to be honest, I didn't actually see her there. So I'm not going to say I did. But I was expecting her to gank top. So my primary idea right now is I'm not sure if she's in this area, but I wanted to clear this because that ward there is what's stopping this ward from giving my giving my top laner the safety to play aggressive. So I was actually coming up just to kill the ward. But then, of course, the Camille comes. Now, I didn't have Predator boots and I didn't have ult, but I knew because my top was actually quite strong, we could win this 2v2. More specifically because she's behind. Unfortunately, I missed my wall and he dies. But luckily for us, Red Smite is broken. There we go. Alright, now, this is a position that I really have changed my mindset on a lot lately. Because the usual me would have done, clear these, push this tower, kill that tower. But I didn't even consider the fact that he had teleport. What I considered more is that by killing this ward, which is not something that my top laner would have the opportunity to do normally, it can help my top laner, and I can then take away this camp from the Camille. So that's what I ended up doing. I'd push the lane, and I go get the ward, and then I go get the Krug camp. It was just pure luck that she happened to teleport back, and I couldn't have got the tower anyway. So what I do now is I run into the jungle, put a deep ward out, and recall on the spot. Oh no, put the Poro with the ward and then recall down here. Well, I was going to, and then the ward comes out. Now, you'll notice that this ward here ends up being extremely effective in this game. Because what ends up happening is the Camille then paths up, and then my Jax and my TF can collapse on him. Now, that wouldn't have happened unless I had put that ward down. So that deep ward is literally one of the biggest importances in this game, is being able to get like information based on the enemy's playstyle. So you can see what ends up happening is Camille then goes to farm, and my team collapses on her. Now, we have vision of her health. We know, I said before that Camille doesn't clear this camp very well. And all of a sudden, there she is. And my team gets in a 2v2. And Jax is broken, and Cass is behind. There you go. It's an easy game. Okay, so that happened purely because my ward was there. If my ward wasn't there, they would not have got that. At the same time, I pop my Predator, and we run bot. Now, I don't know if they have sums or not. So when you come into gank a lane that doesn't have sums, or you don't know if they have sums, ideally you want to put the wall in a way so that they have to either walk around it, flash through it, and usually land there. And at the same time, you want to cut off this exit right here. See, if I were to wall right here, what ends up happening is they both pass through here. Or they both just flash over it, right? If I were to wall on them, she flashes out, he flashes out. I don't know what sums they have. So the best place to put a wall is right there. Zilean then has to interrupt his movement to come around the outside. She has to interrupt her movement to come around the outside. Or she flashes over the wall and lands there. This flash is extremely hard to make. Usually they'll land short. You have to be like right on the wall, and most people will misclick. So you'll see what ends up happening is we put the wall in front, which actually cuts off the Zilean's escape. I accidentally misclick it and get her. But we block her and we get the kill completely solo. And we kill the Zilean as well. So this game is completely in our control. It's literally everywhere we have gone has just absolutely stomped. And you can see it is career after all. So the game ends up going rather hilarious because Koreans have a habit of tilting extremely easily. So what I was doing here as well is, I'll rewind it because I got a bit sidetracked there. But when you push a tower like this, make sure you look for any opportunity there is to get your maiden back. So judging by these minions' position and the maiden shuffle out through here will probably be a no-go. Now, I don't know where the rest of the Camille is. These two are out of are unknown, and they're respawning somewhat soon. So I wasn't ready to commit to a maiden shuffle up here, which is probably the only option. So instead, I went for this camp here. Now, if that's not there, you can actually use the blue buff, but it's very, very difficult. But you'll see, doing it anywhere past this kind of line is risky. You don't want to risk losing your maiden because she will get you killed. Now that I look at it, I probably actually could have done the maiden shuffle. Based on, because the melee's died, I actually could have done the maiden shuffle right there by facing that way. But that's alright. So this camp is not there. So I go check the blue. The blue's not there. So we'll put a ward down. I should have put my Poro down as well, but it wouldn't let me because I was in combat. But that's alright. So Camille dies again. We recall. Go straight to the nearest camp to get us ghouls. We haven't got that, and you can see the tears start coming out. And that's basically it for this replay. I mean, the rest is pretty standard. We just go for a full shove mid. We get a lot out of it. They come straight through as well. Meanwhile, the enemy team just starts stacking tears because they're all tilted and they're all very upset about losing this game. And I'll play out the replay because it's fucking hilarious seeing the entire enemy team with tears. Yeah, so we give it a recall and we literally just go straight to mid because the game's pretty much done at this point. And you can watch those tears start stacking up. I love Korea, dude. It's so much fun. Look at all of them. And yeah, that was a really clean game. And that was literally won at level 1 by controlling this area of the jungle. By stealing her red, it put pressure on her. And we ended up counter-ganking the Camille to the point where she was useless. So that was a really, really clean game. Anyway, I hope you guys liked that. I'm going to do more breakdowns like this in the future, so stay tuned. Otherwise, good luck in your solo queue games.